What's going on, Blerds, nerds, and everyone in between? It's your boy Wyatt, and we are here with another episode of With the BS. And today we are talking about just the first three episodes of Loki on Disney Plus. How we thought about it, what we think is going to happen, what we want to have happen, and just kind of get our just overall thoughts. So today I got a trio with me, including myself, and we got down at the bottom the bearded one himself, Marcus. How you doing today, man?
I am good, man. Glad to be here once again, back with the BS. Excited to talk about Loki.
And Juan, so you got Vegeta in the background and Naruto on your chest. You're here to talk about Loki. You got a lot of stuff going on.
Yep, I got a lot of going on, man. Like I said last episode, I was playing around with this background on my phone, and it just stuck there, so I just left it alone. So
Hey,
he there. So that's my alter ego, uh, old Vegeta. So let's get it.
well, it's better than if you got Goku on the background. So
Nah,
yeah. So
I can't do Goku, man.
all right, now before we get started, I want you guys to be like the Hulk. I want you to smash that follow button, and then we are gonna love you like little Stark, and we're gonna love you 3,000. So going forward, how are you guys feeling about this? Time variance, Loki just going through different periods of time. How are you guys feeling about all that?
I like it, man. It picks up directly where you see Loki take the Tesseract in game, and it starts right there. So you're not getting the Loki that matured in Thor 2 or Thor Ragnarok. So you getting this Loki that's just got his butt whipped by the Hulk, was about to get arrested. So he hasn't had time to really sit in that cell that you saw in Thor 2. So this Loki is fresh off his villainous schemes type guy. So he's learning as he go. But overall, I like the show. I like where it's going.
I agree with one. Like you said, you're getting that Loki that just got his butt whooped. He still have a plot or plan or something, a scheme to try to get his way or try to make his, do what he wants or whatever the case may be. And it's good to see. And I like what they're building. I like what this is leading to. I'm pretty sure we'll get into the theories of what it's going to lead to and stuff like that. But I love what they're doing with it. Can't wait to see more.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely felt like there's that scheming part of Loki that we're able to see, and I like the fact that they're hopping through time, and it's kind of like what's going on here, what's happening. So you got more questions and answers, especially in that first episode, and the really crazy part in that first episode, I think, was how they had all those Infinity Stones just chilling in the office. So he and everybody was like that. Somebody uses that as like a paperweight, and somebody uses it, as whatever the case may be. So I thought that was really cool. Makes it seem like there's not going to be too much more when it comes to having those things out and about. You know what I mean? So no more Infinity War Part 2. I think that's really really cool that they kind of close that up and start up a new one. So what do you guys think about Sylvie, the variant Loki?
I think she's more vicious than he is actually. She as of right now, she's showing tendency of being really cold blooded, man. Like I think out of the two, she's the more evil one than he is. He has the gift of gab, and she'll just go cut your throat. So that's my take on her.
Yeah, I like Sylvie in the fact of like you getting this totally different basic version of Loki who didn't have the experience with the family, who didn't have like the closeness with Thor or whatever her version of Thor was, whatever. Like she didn't have any of that. So you getting to see what Loki could have been or would have been had he had that same, you getting a little taste of what he may have been had he not been treated the way he was treated by Odin and Thor and everyone. But I like Sylvie. I'm interested to see like where she goes and how they're gonna develop her as a character going forward. But I like Sylvie.
Yeah, I think Sylvie has a lot more because even in that third episode, like Loki opened up more, and Sylvie was still really really quiet about what her past
Mhm.
was. So you never really got to see or hear, you know what I mean? But it was kind of like a reflection, and I think in some points because when he did the fireworks out of his hands, and he was like, "Yeah, my mom taught me this," and he's like, and then Sylvie was like, "Well, I don't really remember what my mom was like." And Loki kind of sees in a certain instance that he had it kind of well versus maybe what some of the other variants did, because it sounded like Sylvie just they let her know right away that she wasn't a part of the family, so she never got that dynamic. And like you said, it kind of made you feel like this is what a life would be without like having that close brother, that bond with Thor, because even though he didn't like Thor and kind of what Thor stood for, he loved him, and he knew that Thor loved him, because every time he pretended to die, Thor was the first one boo-hooing about. He was like, "I thought you were gone. I thought you were dead," and so that's what makes it, I think, a really good story from there.
I think he also saw that this time when I think it was episode 2. And if I'm going too fast, why just cut me off.
Yeah, have at
Uh,
it.
so in episode 2, he kind of saw his death. He saw Thanos snap his neck,
Yeah,
and I was like, yeah. And then he first he saw his mom die. Then he saw Thanos snap his neck, and then he saw Thor crawling towards him. So he when I believe when he first saw that, the love that Thor has for him, but throughout all the Thors and the Avengers, man, you can tell like
yeah,
Thor got a love for his brother, man.
yeah. That's still his bro. He still looks at Loki. That's why he's always. That's why he. I mean, that's why Thor does what he does or how he does with
Mm,
Loki. Like he never he like didn't try to kill no matter what Loki did. He never really tried to kill him. He just wanted to stop him or whatever the case may be,
mm,
or so because he still loves him. He still like he believes he can change him or that Loki can change because they were raised right how they were raised and raised being somewhat the same whatever the case may be.
right. And
Yeah,
so go ahead, Watt. My
go
bad.
ahead, Juan.
So like with that going forward, man, I think if if it plays out this way, he might show uh the female Loki
Sylvie.
how Sylvie, yeah, how you know the compassion side, because he's trying to open up towards her. And when he finds out that the time variance is a bunch of BS, that's when he's going to turn into that hero that he was growing to be in game and in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, I think Owen Wilson's characters, when he told Loki that he was indirectly responsible for his mother's death because he was so upset um about what had happened and being in prison, like he that kind of broke him too, because he was just like, it's like, dang, I thought, what I mean, I thought it was just going to be something a little bit different. But the fact that the one person that he loved and he had a hand in her death is crazy as far as that's concerned. But I definitely agree. I think Sylvie is like, she's know nothing but to fight for what she wants and fight to get what she needs. Like, and Loki definitely is seeing the privilege that he has, and the having all those things and having those people around him that he's had, because beforehand it was just like he was mad at the world. And that's what Owen Wilson, I think his name is Mobius, that's what
Mhm.
his
Yeah,
that's what he was trying to show him. He was like, well, why are you mad, you know what I'm saying? Or why do you feel like you have to hurt people? Do you like hurting people? And he was telling them, like, I think it's necessary for the fear. And so when all this stuff goes on, like, he just breaks down Loki. And I like the fact that even in those situations, like Owen Wilson Mobius was just like he knew what was up. Like so when Loki was like, "Oh, okay, well, like I think it was in the second episode where he just finally decided to work for him, and he was like, well, he was starting to negotiate, and Owen Will's like, oh, he don't know nothing. Let's go. Ain't nobody outside. Like so those kinds of situations where they kind of play off each other, it works really really well. So, what do you guys think about Mobius?
I like his character, man. Well, I like Owen Wilson anyway, because no matter what movie you get from him, he's gonna keep the same energy, that same tone, the how he talk and stuff, the whispers, yeah, that
Yeah,
he's gonna
yeah.
keep that in us no matter what role he's doing. So, I mean, I'm glad that he got on a Marvel train and he getting some of that Marvel money. But yeah, I like his role, man. It's developing, and I think it's going to develop even more in the next 3 episodes.
Yeah,
So,
I'm with one. I was just saying I'm with one. I like his character. I like what he's bringing. It's almost a little bit that that I'm trying to think of the best way to describe him, because it's not like a comic relief, but he's like that. He brings some type of like you said, his voice,
yeah.
how he was talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like his character. I'm looking like I do want to see where he goes. Where he goes from here as far as what they're gonna do with him in the rest of the story. But yeah.
End of the third episode where they said that the time variants or the time police are pretty much just variants and they're not just created, you know what I mean? So, and that was the only reason why he had only known being a time variant. But then Sylvie said, like, no, they're just people from variants from other times, and they make them into there, and then they brainwash them. What do y'all think is really going on with the TVA?
Yeah, that's what I think Sylvie is from school Loki a little bit about the TVA, and that they're not all what they are supposed to be. And I think he's gonna try to free him, and I believe that is gonna cause a whole shift in the multiverse. That's just my theory. I believe that I might say this, but I'm gonna say what I want to say right quick. I think that the female Thor from the new movie that's coming out is from Sylvie's time, and that's how the hammer comes back into play. That's just my thoughts. I was thinking about it the other day, and so I believe that this show is going to kick off a whole series of things that's going to happen going forward in the movies.
I totally agree, Juan. I was watching like a guy would do a review or like the first 2 episodes. He was mentioning I think one of the time like the time whatever what are the three like statues you see, I guess the
Yeah, one is Kane.
Kane, that's what they're saying. Kane the Conqueror.
Yeah.
And Kang is supposed to be in the new Ant-Man and the Wasp movie. And me personally, I hope they don't use. I hope Kang is not a one and done villain. That's one of my. As far as like if you know Kang, like I kind of knew they was gonna bring him in because the character that Mobius, the woman, I guess the woman over the TVA or whatever, Ravonna or whatever, like she's one of in the comics she's one of Kane's love. Well, she's like a Kane's love interest or whatever the case may be in the comics. But this is gonna kick off so much. But like I said, because after this you got like the Doctor Strange movie, Multiverse of Madness is coming. So you're getting. This is gonna open. This is one of the things that's opening the door to so much more that's gonna be coming out. Like you said, the Ant-Man and the Wasp movie that's gonna be coming with Kane and Conqueror. That's gonna deal with. I'm pretty sure that's gonna deal with some type of time travel somewhere. It's gonna be in there somewhere. It's gonna be. It's great. I'm excited to see what they're gonna be doing in the movies. And like I said, I also believe like that she may be the Jane or the Thor in Love and Thunder. It's the Thor from the girl Thor is maybe the version from Loki's the girl from Sylvie's timeline or whatever the case may be. But it's gonna be interesting. I'm excited to see where they're gonna take it and how they're gonna build from it.
I definitely think that this may be the start of like the multiverse, because I don't, because like who is it, the Timekeepers, is that what their names were, the yeah, so I think they, whatever path that they were putting us on, I think they're gonna find out that this was a path to do something that maybe may not be beneficial for the world, but may be more beneficial for them. And so then that's why, because I mean, there's a lot of stuff that went on that these timekeepers didn't really step in on. So I feel like they've been sleeping at the wheel. So I think that may be something that they bring up, and then and it may be something even sadder. I think maybe even be something where like Sylvie is making herself where she doesn't exist, or go back to a time before like and maybe get with her parents. You know what I mean? Something like that to kind of help out, because if you've been by yourself the whole time, you don't want to just have a life. That's a long life to be living, and especially because she's doing all that time skipping and jumping. You know what I mean? That's a lot of time to be living by yourself over years and years and years. And then especially since like the Asgardians don't necessarily age like we age, so you don't know how long she's been out there like that. So so that
she hasn't really played her hand yet. Like, what's your motive? Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, and that's the thing that I really want to see in these last 3 episodes, is to find out what her motivation and what her backstory is and what she wants to accomplish. Because, even throughout this whole time, like, you never knew why she wanted to get to the timekeepers, or, things like that. You just knew that she was just driven, and she'd kill anybody who got in her way. So that just, to me, sounds like somebody who's been by themselves and had to fight their whole life. And for an Asgardian, that's a lot of life.
Great.
So now it was a video out, and it was breaking down everything. And these guys pointed out, I haven't seen it in game. Maybe it's there, but maybe it's the same video you watched, Mark. These guys was breaking down, the theory of Loki, the series, and what's behind it, time travel. When the Avengers was going into the quantum phase, whatever, they said it was a city in the background, and that city was the TVA. Yeah, the city was the TVA. Yeah.
It was Ant-Man and the Wasp. It was that movie.
Yeah.
When he was trying to rescue when they were trying to rescue the Wasp's mother.
Wife. Yeah,
Janet Van Dyne. But they were saying that it was like, if you look in the background, it looked like it's there. It looks like a city. They were saying that's the TVA or whatever the case may be.
See, I try not to watch those videos, just because, like, when I watch those videos, then you don't get surprised. You know what I mean? Because then after that, you feel like what's getting ready to happen. So you don't necessarily. I don't like to watch those videos. I try to stay away from that. Like any spoiler, like when it comes to anything on YouTube, anything like that, I just want to come in there and be surprised. Because if I know too much about it, and especially this day and age, you can always find somebody's theory, and somebody's either theory that's either right, or they either know somebody who knew something about how that is. So I just want to try to guess and be surprised. What were you saying, Marcus?
And I was gonna say, I agree with you. Like I do my research usually on the character and some of the stuff that comes with, like doing the WandaVision. When they introduced Agnes or whatever, I knew who she was. Like I knew she was.
Right.
I knew who Agnes truly was or whatever. Like my theory was wrong from, like, I was thinking they were gonna bring in. That was how they were gonna bring in Mephisto.
Yeah.
Mephisto. And I was just hoping they were gonna bring him in, because, like, in the comics, Billy and Tommy are like shards of Mephisto.
Mhm.
Like, and that's why, or whatever the case may be. Like I said, so I'm my theory was wrong, but it's like but I knew who Agnes was in the beginning. So it's like, okay, so I'm gonna theorize. Like I said, once I do my research most on the character, I try to stick with the character, and not so much because, like I said, the MCU they'll change the storyline or change the story up in a minute on you. You think it's going one way, okay, it's looking like it's leaning towards this way, and then all of a sudden, poof, it ain't. Like how they brought in the Quicksilver from the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
And you just like, oh, okay, like I think they were just doing it for the fan service.
Man, they played with my emotions on that one, man.
Yeah, they did.
I hurt my feelings.
Yeah, they did. Actually, that was more so. I think that was like a little, like, oh, we're gonna get you with this one. Like, okay, you think this is it? Nah.
It was like everybody was like, oh, they coming.
Yeah. Nah.
There was another one they threw me off in that series too. With Monica Rambeau was like, I got a friend that's a physics and they can do this and they can do that. I'm like, oh, you talking about Reed Richards? I'm like,
that was everything. That was everything. That was everybody was talking about. They thought she was talking about Reed.
So, yeah, I said it was nope, you wrong. I'm like, God, got me. But
they coming though. The Fantastic Four coming. They coming.
All I'm saying is, I think is that the bomb that what's the face that Iron Man threw in the first Avengers, that cosmic rays are from that explosion coming back to Earth. That could be true.
That could be true, and that could definitely be true. I like that's a good way to tie everything in.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's gonna be dope. I think that's a good way to tie that in. I'm still trying to.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now. Why? That'd be interesting.
My only thing is I'm still trying to figure out how I'm trying to wrap my mind around how they're gonna introduce mutants. Like we know mutants are coming one maybe not this few years from now, whatever the case may be. I just want to know how exactly are they gonna introduce mutants, and it cannot be can't be a lame fall off the wheel way. Like it's got to be something that's gonna be dope because, like I said, Magneto, Professor X, like they've been around since the beginning. Like Magneto was in the Holocaust. Like you got stuff that you got to put in there. Like you know what I'm saying. But
so you think that they're still gonna no, that's a totally different subject because we're gonna get all the way off. Because
I think I know what you're going. Why? Because I was thinking that in my head.
Because I was like, because how are they gonna do all this stuff? Because the Holocaust, there's not too many more survivors left. So then after that, how you gonna have all that? But we're not gonna go into that because I told y'all I was gonna keep this short today, and we will be on here for 3 hours talking about X-Men.
Talking about what else? I already know.
So, is there any?
One quick question though. So we gonna pretend that Magneto isn't Wanda's daddy for him not?
We're not gonna talk about that. Wanda.
Let me say this. They actually retconned that in the comics. Like he is not. They changed it in the comics.
Okay.
He is not the father of Pietro and Wanda.
Okay.
In the comics anymore. His only daughter is Polaris.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop because that's more politics than anything else because of the fact because Marvel didn't own the X-Men, so then they stopped pushing everything X-Men. So they were
trying to push the Inhumans.
Mm-hmm. The humans are going to be the new X-Men, but we're not going to talk about that. About Loki, because we could go talk about this all day. Do you guys? Is there any cameos, anything like that? Because I feel like that's a perfect opportunity to throw in a cameo here, throw in a cameo there. Like get Renee, what's her face? Get Loki's mama to come and have those final moments with her, or have a moment with Chris Hemsworth. What are y'all looking for anything like that?
I'm looking for the God Butcher to show up towards the end.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
The villain in Love and Thunder.
Okay.
Maybe that's a reach, but I don't know.
I'm looking for like maybe some future characters like that, or somebody old to pop in. Um, like maybe we do see, maybe we actually get a glimpse at Kang in this. You know what I'm saying? Actual glimpse of Kang. Trying to think who else. Um, maybe someone, maybe some that like maybe they jump back in time and pop up. You maybe get a glimpse of Black Widow. Something like that. Maybe just a little bit of something just to excite, especially because the next movie that's coming out is Black Widow movie. Maybe you get something with that. Or maybe they're gonna, I'm not sure if they're gonna jump into do something with since Shang-Chi is coming out, and I ain't gonna jump into that. I want to say something about that, but yeah, but it's so much stuff they could. I'm trying my best, man.
We'll be out here all night. I'm
we
telling
would
you.
be. That trailer.
We'll
Like I say,
I
go watch
saw
the trailer.
that. I saw that, man. You can't just bring it up and not just talk about it for at least 2 seconds, man.
All right.
I saw that.
Go ahead, get it out.
Abomination. Yeah, that's
They
it.
gave
That's
him the
it.
ears. He got the real
I-
ears on there now, and he's fighting. He's fighting Wu from Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it like that. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that.
We'll have another episode. We'll have a bonus episode that we can go ahead and break down all this stuff. So yeah, because that's gonna be good. And we're gonna be able to do some other stuff to talk about those, what we think that needs to come up, because it's a lot of stuff. Now that the pandemic is starting to lift a little bit, folks starting to go to the movies, Marvel's coming out swinging. So
starting to see that light at the end of the tunnel.
I thought for a second, I said maybe Marvel would lose some momentum, but they quickly said think again, Juan, because it's steamrolling now.
But here's the thing, the Disney Plus has really kept them on track, because like even though you couldn't go out to do anything else, you could still go ahead and watch this and be all right. So that's where they did really, really well in doing those kinds of things. So kudos to Marvel and Disney Plus for having that, because you got stories that kind of filled in little gaps so that you can be able to do that. But I think that they're going to allude to the Young Avengers, because there's because they got a lot of people that are in there. Like you already got the boys, what's her face's kids,
Billy and Tommy.
Yep. And then after that you'll have I think you'll have who else? They got the what's his face?
Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
You got Kate Bishop, Hawkeye coming.
Mm-hmm. And then you already talk about Kang, and Kang was in there, and he and then you also had Eli Bradley. So you had damn near the whole Young Avengers already introduced, but they're still in that position where they're still just kids. So just go ahead and I think that's a couple years down the line, but like I think Loki will see like shadows of what he thinks are the regular Avengers, and he's like, but that can't be. And he's like, it's not.
That'd be nice.
And it's not.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Yeah.
So that's what I think would be something that would definitely show up and be really cool.
That just DC ain't got a chance, man. They should just blow it up and start it over, man. Like
I'm not gonna say that, but.
Mm-hmm. They just, Titans is coming out, and they're getting ready to do the Red Hood series, and they're getting ready to have a couple other things that are really good. I think the only issue is that like they didn't have a plan in place. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they didn't have a way to grow, because like Marvel had everything planned out for that first 10 years. And DC was just like, we just gonna give you guys a Superman movie, we're gonna give you a Batman movie, and then we're gonna go ahead and throw the Justice League at you. And like there was no build up, you know what I mean? Like before it was like at least 5 years before we had like the first Avengers movie. So it was a lot of build up to that one before, 4 or 5 years before, because I think When Iron Man came out in '08 and Avengers came out in 2012. So
Yeah, because Marvel steamrolled it because
mm,
it was Iron Man and Captain America First Avenger came out.
then Thor,
And Thor, yeah,
then another Iron Man movie.
another, yeah. And then it
So
was the Avengers movie.
so
Oh, I'm was that yeah, Iron Man 2? Because that's right.
mhm,
I'm thinking about the third one where he woke up. He was having dealing with the effects from the Avengers
mhm.
movie. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So um so do you guys expect to see like Odin maybe show up? Maybe a Thor?
I would
Maybe.
I I would say this. I would like to see Thor, but I would maybe we get a different version of Thor. That'll be that might be nice. But either way, I would like to. I wouldn't mind seeing maybe Odin pop up because he died in the Ragnarok or
Ragnarok.
whatever the case may be. Yeah, so maybe like I said, maybe Thor, Odin or maybe the mother. Maybe one of them pops up, or maybe gets a little bit of Loki gets a little bit of a not redemption, but just a little bit of
Closure.
closure. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I
Or
think he
maybe he runs into uh Beta Ray Bill.
yeah, that's what I was thinking about too. You read my mind. Why? Because I think because I want to see what they look like, and that'd be a perfect test opportunity to see if their Beta Ray Bill looks good, or if they need to do like they did in the Sonic movie and just redo him all over again. So, like I would love to see a Beta Ray Bill, or I would love to see a like he needs to have some closure because like he used to just hate his father, and now that he sees how much his father did for him, I think that'd be good for him to be able to see that and be like, oh man, that's hey, I know I was giving you a hard time before, but you are appreciated because like the way these other variants got treated, you know what I mean? It was I could have had it a whole lot worse.
Hmm.
So any final thoughts, gentlemen? Anything that you could think of? Anything else Thor or Loki related? Because we can talk about X Men, find Fantastic Four, all the rest of that a little bit later. Um,
Just a quick, like I said, I like what they're doing with it. Um, Waiting to see where the story goes and how everything's gonna tie in the end, and what movie or what hints or little stuff we're gonna get sprinkled throughout the rest of the season, and what we're gonna get at the end, where it can go or whatever the case may be.
Juan,
Yeah, pretty much the same page with Marcus. You may see a cameo. You may see Kane the Conqueror come in. Uh, I'm thinking more likely you're going to see him at some point. But also, I would like to see what Wyatt said to him get some closure with Odin. But other than that, man, it's a good show. I think it's branched open uh, for the future for Marvel, and that the Infinity Stones are just paperweights now. It don't even matter. They close the door on those. So um, we're in the future now. We're in a time travel thing with Marvel. So let's see where it goes.
all right. Well, I appreciate you all showing up. I appreciate us having this quick conversation about the first three episodes of Loki. This will probably be out tomorrow, right before episode four drops, so we can be able to have our thoughts out before this, and then we can see if we're right or wrong. So, on behalf of all the rest of the Blerd Syndicate, we just want to say thank you so much for showing up. Make sure you smash the follow button. We'll love you 3000, and check us out a little bit later. All right, y'all have a great night.